Hello there, my very good friends. Andy here for WhatCulture Wrestling, and guess what? There's only another bloody major wrestling event this weekend. We're only 1 week removed from Double or Nothing, 2 removed from Money in the Bank, and 1 away from Dominion 6-9 for New Japan, and of course, Super Showdown. It's bloody relentless. But the good news, of course, is that we're talking about NXT TakeOver here, the brand that never fails to deliver exciting, cutting-edge in-ring action. And at this stage, betting against it is kind of like trying to fight a dragon with, I don't know, this. It's stupid, and you will die. This is TakeOver 25, coming at you live from Bridgeport, Connecticut. And if you hadn't figured it out from the oh-so-clever title, this is the 25th NXT TakeOver ever. And when you think about it, that's kind of mental, because I had a full head of hair when these things started airing. No, I didn't. Anyway, it looks like we've got one hell of a card ahead of us on Saturday night, including the rematch of what many people consider their WWE match of the year so far, as Adam Cole once again challenges Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship in the main event. Io Shirai will battle NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, and of course we've got Tyler Breeze returning to the gold and black brand to face the Velveteen Dream for the North American title. But that's enough of me talking absolute bollocks. Let's dive into the predictions. Let's begin with what many assume will be the night's opening match. I'm talking about Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong, which on paper from an in-ring standpoint looks absolutely banging. This is something of a shot at redemption for poor old Roddy, who has been at the heart of the Undisputed Era's newfound tension since Cole failed to defeat Gargano in New York, with Strong and the Undisputed Era's de facto leader sharing many an icy glance over the past few weeks. Matt Riddle has been a pain in the Undisputed Era's arse. He keeps dipping in and out of the title scene, and Roddy likely sees this as an opportunity not only to beat the absolute piss out of the former UFC star, but secure the first step on the path to atonement. What you're going to get here is 2 of the hardest hitting wrestlers in the entire company slapping the fake tan off each other for a good 15 minutes. Now, as far as the outcome goes, I think it's pretty hard to bet against Matt Riddle. He's going to remain in the title picture for the foreseeable future, and poor old Roddy might need to rely on some kind of undisputed interference, which isn't certainly off the cards, to prevail. That being said, I think Riddle needs to win. He can move up the card, and he can challenge whoever wins between Cole and Gargano. Up next, we're going to talk about my personal most anticipated match of the entire night, that being the returning Tyler Breeze facing Velveteen Dream for the North American title. This was set up on NXT TV just a few short weeks ago. Dream was in the ring, cutting one of those over-the-top promos he loves to do, claiming that everyone wanted a piece of him and telling the universe to put some respect on his name. Out came Tyler Breeze, taking everybody by surprise by appearing in Full Sail University for the first time since he lost to Ricochet back in December. And what followed was one of the most fun segments of the whole year, as 2 of NXT's most flamboyant and entertaining characters ever proceeded to banter each other off. Tyler then proceeded to deck Dream after posing for a selfie with the champ, and now we're here. These 2 are actually going to collide on a TakeOver event, and if you said that to me a couple of months ago, I'd have called you mental. Now, it'll be really interesting to see if Breeze can still go here, because he was a real standout on NXT back in the day, but he's kind of been wasting away on the main roster with very little to do ever since. I mean, the Fashion Police were fun, but when was the last time this guy got a big singles opportunity? That being said, I'm not going to bet against the guy who was a real standout on NXT back in the day, like I said. But that being said, he's probably only here as a filler defense. So Velveteen takes the win. Up next, a match that guarantees mayhem, as my boys Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, the Forgotten Sons, the Street Profits, and of course Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of the Undisputed Era contest the vacant NXT Tag Team titles in a goddamn ladder match. These belts found themselves ownerless after the War Raiders were called up to the main roster soon after that awesome performance against Aleister Black and Ricochet at TakeOver New York, and then promptly became a joke through all that Viking experience nonsense. Ivar and Eric have accomplished the square root of bugger all on Monday Night Raw, and in their absence, the top 4 teams in NXT have been squabbling over who should be the next champions, leading to this, an absolute cluster. Now, the go-home episode of NXT TV saw the Forgotten Sons versus Lorcan and Burch go to a no contest when the Street Profits interfered, and then the Undisputed Era came out and battered everyone with chair shots, standing tall as the show went off the air. It was a suitably chaotic way to lead into this match, which promises to be absolutely insane. Now, as far as winners go, I'm going to put some money on the Street Profits. Well, I'm probably not going to put some money on them, I don't gamble, but that's where my prediction's going. Because the Undisputed Era have already been there, they don't really need the belts, the Forgotten Sons are just kind of icky, and as much as I love my bald brothers, I just don't see that happening. So let's swerve into the NXT Women's title hunt now as Shayna Baszler defends her belt against Io Shirai in a match that has never taken place one-on-one on WWE TV. But these two have gone one-on-one before. That was for Japan's Stardom promotion back in 2017. And if you've not seen it, it was an absolute banger. They beat the tar out of each other, and that bodes extremely well for TakeOver. Now, Shirai was, of course, involved in that four-way match in New York City, but her and her friend Kairi Sane just kind of got in each other's way, particularly towards the end. Kairi is gone, but Io's title charge is still driven by her as she was forced to sit and watch as Shayna and her horsewoman brutally beat Sane on her way out of the territory just a few weeks ago. The ensuing weeks have seen Shirai transform into an all-out badass, and that's a good thing, because Baszler has been at the top for so long and looked so dominant that the person who finally dethrones her and ends her second reign has to look like an absolute berserker. The time feels right for Shayna to move on. The bully heel character is fantastic, the matches rule, she's been very successful, and let's be honest, the main roster could probably use a character like hers. Now, as one of the absolute best in the world, Shirai is the right person to pass the torch to, and I think that's what's gonna happen. Besides, even if you're a big Baszler fan like me, it kind of feels like the division needs to be refreshed a little. It needs a new coat of paint. Now, with Io on top, there's all kinds of fresh, exciting matches, but Baszler's kind of already beaten anyone. It's time to switch things up, so let's see if WWE pull the trigger. And now, finally, the main event, and what might be the most hotly anticipated NXT match in years, as Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole go one-on-one once again for the NXT Championship. Now, it's only May, but that match is definitely going to feature on many a Match of the Year ballot. The consensus is that it's one of the greatest TakeOver main events ever, and that's reflected here in the WhatCulture office, where more than one person has called it one of their favourite NXT matches ever. The quality of that first match puts a boatload of pressure on the wrestler's shoulder. How on earth are they supposed to better it or even match it when that bout is already considered an all-timer? But it's the TakeOver main event, these things rarely disappoint, and it's Cole and Gargano, for God's sake, of course they're going to deliver. Now, the core story here is that Cole considers himself the uncrowned NXT champion because he beat Gargano in the first fall of their 2 out of 3 falls match. Now, that's a little loopy because he still lost 2 falls to 1, but he's a heel. That's what they do. Johnny Champion gave him the rematch and they've been warring ever since, but the big question is this: who the hell is winning this bloody thing? Honestly, you could make a credible argument for either one, but I'm going with Adam Cole here. And no, I'm not doing the Bebe thing. Gargano finally got his big moment when he won the belt in New York City after all those attempts. It was emotional, it was cathartic, but he's a plucky babyface, and plucky babyfaces don't need long title runs. See Sami Zayn. Besides, what better way to pour heat on Cole than having him rob a beloved NXT champion of his belt, particularly if he does it by being an absolute bastard. It's time for Cole to reign. He's been waiting long enough. And while him and the Undisputed Era are definitely main roster ready, who the hell would want to head to Raw or SmackDown when developmental is still this good? Anyway guys, that's me done with my take on NXT TakeOver 25, which goes down this Saturday. But what do you guys think? Who's winning and how are they going to do it? Let us know down in the comment section below, and don't forget to tell me just how wrong I am. Once you've done that, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and of course ring the bell for notifications. And once you've done that, you can follow us at WhatCulture WWE, and you can follow myself at Andy H. Murray on Twitter for all kinds of silly bollocks. Goodbye!